Well, alrighty. Today we are actually going to start the process of finishing this car. As of right now, we have everything pretty much done, besides like just some small odds and ends, things like that. So, like as of a couple of them, if we come to, like, for instance, the oil cooler down here. So these oil cooler lines, they run up, they're way too long, so they hang down, and then down in there is that's my oil filter right now. It is just hanging with some zip ties. One of the things is like all of this wiring is held with, zip ties. The vacuum shut off, we've got like hoses to one size barb to another size barb to this size hose to that size hose. A bunch of stuff we had to do to get stuff together. So like the oil and transmission line cooler lines are both, oil lines are like 3 foot too long and transmission lines like a foot too long, but we didn't have time to cut and shorten those, so we left them long, and then we just coiled them up and zip tied them and had them to the side so it would run and drive, do a burnout. And that's all it needed to do at the time. The transmission is still stock trans, still has a stock torque converter in it. All of that stuff is still stock and the same. Do have the ratcheting shifter and the brackets for that. Steering wheel and everything, that's all done. Firewall is for the most part done. Besides, I need to silicone all of the gaps. So I just gotta get the transmission out, the motor out, then I can do all that stuff. Also want to paint the chassis. We didn't end up getting that done, so I would like to paint the chassis. I am going to kick on this salamander now, get some heat going in here. It's probably, I don't know, 45 degrees in here. It's not bad. And then I need to move this car over to that side just because there's a lot more working area. So I'll swap these two cars around, and then I'm probably going to pull the doghouse off of it, and we're going to get at it. So. Alright, got the doghouse off. That just takes, it's got a rib nut on the bottom, a rib nut on top. So just 4 screws and it comes out. Kind of hard to do with one person, but I managed to make it happen without tearing anything up. But get a good look at everything we have going on here. So these struts, as I was talking about, that adjustment, so there's the jam nut. The adjustment is adjusted all the way up. So quite literally, if you take this frame rail and you get to bouncing, it'll bounce. It's got no shock right now. It is just spring. So I need longer travel, heavier duty springs. Heater just kicked back on. So I gotta get that, but as you can see, like, looks kind of neat like that. I don't think I've seen it without a doghouse with everything installed yet, so that's kind of cool. But when I start getting all this intake stuff done, get that pulled off of there, get the transmission and oil cooler off. I'll probably actually start draining fluids and then start doing that stuff, so hopefully by the time I'm done it's drained and I can get on with the other stuff. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully everything goes easy. Alright, so we got everything draining now, got all the N-type piping off. So now to get this intercooler and radiator out, we made this bracket that keeps these two together. I gotta take bolt nut off here, bolt nut off here, then you come down to the bottom. There is a stud and nut there. I take those four off, and then this is just slid down. So as soon as this is done, this just slides up and out, and that's it. That's all it is. So once I get that taken out, it's going to give us open access to almost everything else. Then I'll come over and I'll loosen up the cooler line fittings. Once I do that, I'll go ahead and I'll pull the oil cooler off. That's about 4 more bolts, oil and trans cooler. So over here, this is just 2 small coolers. So this is oil side, this is trans side. They are just bolted together with some brackets. That just keeps them there in the front. So we got oil and transmission cooler here, intercooler and radiator all right together, right where air's gonna come up. The actual doghouse itself too, on the chin guard valence panel, it's also got that lip. We have that set to where that just shoots air right into all 4 of those. So it actually is super efficient on staying cool. But I'm gonna let this drain a little bit longer. I'm gonna take all these bolts apart and then I'll pull the cooling system off of here, and I'll give you an update when that happens. Did forget one plug here. The fans. Alright, so got the car up in the air, got the transmission jack stuff ready to go. So I need to take out the X brace, the drive shaft, and the transmission support. Then I can take bell housing bolts loose and get the torque converter loose, and the transmission should come out of there. So I'm gonna get under there, try to get everything out, and then see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, you're good now.
You come all the way down?
I think so.
There.
I'd stop.
Oh yeah, it will definitely go down.
Right now, literally, what happened was, we were doing something, I was about to take it down. Alright, we got it all out today. Converter sitting right there. The adapter for the converter's over there. All the intercooler parts, transmission cooler, intercooler, radiator, drive shaft. Over here is my transmission. Like I said, this is just stock. Besides, it's got a delete plate on one side, and it's got, you know, some AN lines and a custom dipstick. Other than that, the motor is still in it. Getting a transition turned out to be a lot harder than I expected it to. Had a lot of issues with getting the car high enough. So got a little difficult, but got it out of there. So everything else is pretty much ready. I think really the only thing I need to do to get the motor out now is disconnect the fuel line. Alright, so it is the next morning. Pulled the trans last night, My brother had to leave, stuff like that. So really pretty close to having the engine out. So the only thing I really need to do, turbo and stuff is going to stay on here. I have no reason to really take the belt off. So the only thing I really got to worry about, the transmission cooler lines, they can stay, but I got to cut a zip tie there. I got to take the exhaust off, and then pretty much just wiring and these oil cooler lines, they're going to have to pretty much come with this too. So once I get that all out, oh, and the throttle linkage I'm going to have to take out. So just a few things, and then after that I will be able to pull this motor, and then we'll be done. Alright, so I got everything set up now. This is just to keep, you know, like this intake and everything, keep it from getting just chain cranked on it. Keep the valve cover, you know, from chipping too much. So it's all set up there now. So all I gotta do now is take off this motor mount on both sides and then undo one bolt on the mid plate and the motor will come out. So I'm going to take probably 10 bolts out and then we'll be ready to go. Come here, just keep this straight. Alright, so got the motor out. So you just got, see everything a little bit better. Starter. So with these adapters, one thing that sucks is to do the starter you have to remove the transmission, because the starter bolt's right here on the adapter, there and there. So in order to change the starter, you gotta pull the transmission. That part sucks, but oh well. Oil ports, I need to get those closed off from the elements. Oil pressure gauge. This is just throttle linkage stuff. Come on around, you got the turbo, the manifold, and then pretty much nothing but turbo stuff over here. So a couple things I need to fix is I have an oil leak on the pan somewhere. Yeah, right there. So I have an oil leak there on the pan, and then this thermostat housing leaks too. So I gotta fix a couple gaskets there. But now you can see everything here. Now I can get in here, silicone all these gaps, get all this painted, get all this stuff painted, and that'll be it. We'll be done. So kind of sucks to see it this way and not all the way together, but that is the motor complete. So yep, that's it for today. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. So if you like this video, if you're interested in this stuff, like this is some unique things. There's not, I don't even know if there's another diesel Chevette drag racing in the world. I don't know. I know I've looked it up, but I can't find anything on it besides stock diesel Chevettes. So technically, once I take a pass, this will be the world's fastest diesel Chevette. Definitely be the world's fastest om606 Chevette. So like technicalities, but still, I'm gonna hold the title. So yeah, super cool. It's my dream car. Been wanting this for years. So if you don't mind, like and subscribe to this video, and follow along, and hopefully I'll get to a race week of some kind. But I gotta get in the house because I gotta get ready and go to a dinner.